Picking up the ball. So we have probably, this next announcement is probably the most exciting thing that happened in the Libertarian Party in 20 some odd years. We've been working extremely hard, as you guys know, trying to build a viable option for voters here in Nevada. We've had laser focus in on the state. We've done a lot of stuff. We've introduced bills. We've gotten bills signed into laws. I think we're probably the only state party that's done that to date. So along with that, we've been meeting with a lot of legislators and lawmakers and building relationships. And up in Carson, we had a lot of fun during the legislative session. I say fun, quotes around it. But we've had a lot of interesting stuff happening. But what we have not had in the Libertarian Party is somebody representing the party at the state level. To date, we have never had a state legislator in this state, and there's only been a handful going back, I believe,
1992 in New Hampshire.
1992 in New Hampshire. So what I am most thrilled about and where we're making history is Assemblyman John Moore has announced, and he's coming on board with us, and he's going to be representing the Libertarian Party up in Carson City. So I want to introduce real quick Jason Weinman. Please come up. And he's got a quick statement from the Assemblyman.
So John, we've been talking to John Moore, trying to make this happen for a while now. John is very excited to be a part of the Libertarian Party of Nevada. Hopefully, he will be able to make it to the reception tonight at the Foundation Room, but unfortunately he had a medical emergency and was not able to make it to this press conference. If he's not able to make it to the reception tonight, we will schedule another press conference for him. I have been in touch with him. He's not in any kind of mortal danger or anything like that. So we should be able to hold a new press conference with John Moore himself, hopefully within the next couple of days. And I personally believe that this is the most substantial development in the history of the Libertarian Party in Nevada or anywhere else for that matter. John is the first Libertarian state legislator in any state since 1992 in New Hampshire, and he is going to be reelected, I believe, in District 8 on the Libertarian ticket, which will be the first time since the early 1980s that a Libertarian state legislator wins an election, which will revolutionize the party. I think it's increasingly becoming clear, and this is what drove John to the Libertarian Party. What he wants your takeaway to be is that it no longer appears to be viable to work for liberty or smaller government within the two-party system. John has been both a Democrat and a Republican. He was elected as a Republican, and he has found that it is not practical and not viable to work towards libertarian goals and to work towards the things that you believe to be effective and limited government within the two-party system. And I'm proud to announce that John Moore is the first Libertarian state legislator since 1992, and one of the first in the history of the United States.
And so with that said, do you guys have any questions for us in regards to Assemblyman Moore? Or anything else?
Did Assemblyman Moore have any opponents in the last Republican primary?
No, he did not.
No.
No, in the last Republican primary in 2014, he did not have a primary, so he went straight through to the general. Republicans didn't look at that as a real district for them because it's so offset by Democrats?
Yes, he was able to win as a Republican in a 2-to-1 voter registration disadvantage district against the incumbent Democrat, Jason Frierson, who has announced that he's running against John in 2016.
Yes.
I listen to talk radio, and for a while they were talking about having petitions to recall this tax, and then that was passed,
Yeah,
and
the
then I
commerce
didn't
tax.
hear any more about it.
Okay, so I can give you a quick update on that. What she's talking about, the question is, we heard that there was going to be petitions put out to repeal a tax called the commerce tax. As I mentioned earlier, the commerce tax is a 2% tax on a business's gross revenue, top dollar. And yes, we've moved pretty far along. So at first blush, we had to make sure, first off, that the referendum that we wanted to file was legal. So we did get an opinion 3.5 weeks ago.
Something like that.
3-4 weeks ago, there was an opinion that it was legal and that we could in fact go out and start gathering signatures. So that effort is on its way right now. So it's the RIP Commerce Tax is the name of the coalition. And so, you know, you'll start getting emails from us and a bunch of other people who care about business in the state saying, come on down and, what's that? Yeah, and save, we actually started a whole coalition to go out and get those signatures. It's called Save Nevada Business. If you go to savenevadabusiness.com, you can read all about it. And we're going to be hosting events and bringing awareness and trying to get as many people involved as we can with that. So yeah, it's well on its way. It's not,
Good.
hasn't
Didn't
fallen off.
just drop from the-
No, it did not.
Good, I'm
No,
so
it did
glad.
not. Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. There's a woman that is suing the, I think it's the Clark County School District, concerning using the state money for education for her children to go to a private school. And she's getting grief over this, and so I'm interested in that particular issue. But in addition to that, my understanding, the way this whole thing of giving the money back to the parents, you have to attend school for 100 days before you can have access to that money. And I homeschooled my incredibly wonderful son, worked out great for us. But if you have to attend school for 100 days, then what that means is you have to undergo the immunizations that will actually kill you in many cases.
I'm going to cut you off right there. Are there any other questions?
Okay, so
It's an important issue.
No, it is, but it's off topic of meet the candidates and stuff.
Well, I'll address it anyway.
Thank you.
So first of all, the Libertarian Party of Nevada absolutely supports school choice, including vouchers and the ESA program. I don't think anyone would disagree that private schools have outperformed public schools for less money for many, many years. I think it's very widely known and accepted that the price of public schools that we're all paying as taxpayers has increased dramatically faster than inflation, dramatically faster than GDP. Scores have been stagnant and results have been stagnant or worse. As for vaccinations, obviously, the Libertarian Party is a party that generally supports small government and a limited role for the government in things, and therefore we don't support any kind of mandatory vaccination. However, I will say that the official position of the Libertarian Party of Nevada, and my personal belief, is that vaccinations are not only safe but effective, and were made that way by developments in the free market. I think vaccinations are one of the most important developments in public health in human history, and I think they're a major reason that people are living so much longer and so much more healthfully than they have in the past. Any other questions? Sorry.
All right, both Richard and Mr. McAfee will be available for any questions one-on-one. So thank you guys so much for coming out. We really, really appreciate it.